The New England Patriots are officially past the Tom Brady and Bill Belichick era, as Brady left a few years ago, but now with Bill Belichick gone, they have gone out and drafted Drake Maye out of UNC with the 3rd overall pick this year and got Jerod Mayo as their head coach, signaling a new reset and rebuild to this team. Now, coming with the 3rd overall pick this year, Drake Maye isn't exactly guaranteed to be a starter as of right now, and there is actually some quarterback controversy over in New England right now, as we have seen many headlines coming out the past few weeks. So let's take a deep dive into what's going on in New England to see who is going to be the starting quarterback week 1 and who's going to be the starting quarterback by the end of the season, as I forgot to mention, they did draft 2 quarterbacks this year in this year's NFL draft. Will he be able to come in there from Tennessee, Joe Milton, and get that starting spot? Let's find out. Now, our perception of quarterbacks in the NFL throughout the draft has definitely changed throughout the past few years. And just because you draft a quarterback with a top 5, top 3 pick, even a first round pick in some instances, doesn't mean that they have to start day 1. And I think that's what's going to happen in New England right now. And that's why there's a bit of controversy as well, because we're so accustomed to quarterbacks getting thrown out there day 1. And we don't really see as many instances anymore because they just get thrown to the wolves from day 1 after they get drafted. But if we take a look here at the odds, according to Fox Sports and FanDuel Sportsbook, as of August 5th, the Patriots' Week 1 starting quarterback odds, Jacoby Brissett is minus 1,200, and I think this is for good reason. It has been said that Drake Maye has struggled a little bit in camp so far, but also if we look at this preseason game, which tells a little bit, not the full story, he didn't have the best outing, though he didn't get as many opportunities as well. Jacoby Brissett only threw 3 passes, didn't complete any. Drake Maye went 2 for 3, didn't get as much time and had 19 yards, but another rookie quarterback, Joe Milton, is the one that really turned heads in this game, as he had 5 rushes for 22 yards and went 4 for 6 in the air with 54 yards and a touchdown, and Bailey Zappi played the rest of the game for the Patriots, ending up with 12 for 20 and 108 yards. But it seems like the consensus throughout the Patriots fan base after this game is that they need to get rid of Bailey Zappi and keep Joe Milton, Drake Maye, and Jacoby Brissett around, because Joe Milton showed that he can go out there and be a 2-dimensional player, being able to throw it and going out there and running as well. And it seems like potentially a guy like him, it's been talked about maybe even moving him to tight end. I don't think that's going to happen now, but still, maybe we'll see some opportunities where he could go out there and maybe catch the ball throughout the preseason. It would be interesting to see that. I don't know what will happen depending on how long Bailey Zappi's on this team, because it seems like it would make more sense to keep Joe Milton, Drake Maye, and Jacoby Brissett at this point, especially if Brissett is going to start from week 1. And I also think there's a main reason why Jacoby Brissett is going to start from week 1 compared to a guy like Drake Maye. And the reason is Drake Maye's ceiling is pretty low, in my opinion. I think he has a very low floor and a lowish ceiling. Compared to other guys in this draft, I still think he can be a good player, but I don't really see as much higher upside as a guy like Caleb Williams could have in this draft, a guy like Jayden Daniels. I think Drake Maye is more a steady prospect than a guy like Jayden Daniels, just because I think Jayden Daniels has a very interesting play style, being able to run and throw the way he does, and it was very effective in college. I don't know how it's going to translate to the NFL. Drake Maye played very well in college, but some people are saying that they're seeing the ghost of Mac Jones in him at Patriots practices, which is never a good thing to hear, especially after what Patriots fans had to witness from Mac Jones throughout the past few seasons, now going on to Jacksonville for pretty much a bag of chips. I don't think you throw Drake Maye out there week 1, especially with this receiving core, which is, I think, by far the worst in the NFL right now. When we're looking at their receivers, I think Jalen Polk can go out there and have a good season. I think as potentially a starting wide receiver out there as a rookie, I think he can go out there and play well. But besides that, when we're looking at guys like Kendrick Bourne, who was out, Demario Douglas, who's questionable right now, KJ Osborne, Juju Smith-Schuster, Javon Baker, Jalen Reagor, Kayshon Boutte, Tyquan Thornton, there's just not too much that would get me that excited if I was a Patriots fan. The wide receivers with Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper aren't terrible, but then again, if we're looking at this wide receiver roster, if we're saying that Austin Hooper may be better than most of the wide receivers and he's the backup tight end, that's not really a good sign as well. But I do think there are some bright spots out there. I think Jalen Polk can have a good season this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he can go out there and solidify himself as a great slot wide receiver this year. And then you have Ramondre Stevenson at running back. But besides him, Antonio Gibson and Kevin Harris and JaMycal Hasty, just not a very good offense this year, which I think is a main reason why they're not going to put Drake May out there to start off. And that's also a good thing as well. Jacoby Brissett has proved that he can be a serviceable quarterback, which is why he can go out there and he can play these games. The Patriots have the best odds to win the least amount of games, if that makes sense. They're favored to win the least amount of games in the NFL this season on DraftKings right now. So it's not like they have high expectations, which is why I think Jacoby Brissett can go out there and give you the best chance to win, but also help you continue this rebuild as well. If you have Drake May go out there and let's say he goes out there and has some bad games to start the season, you don't want him to dip his confidence. Like we've seen before, many quarterbacks as rookies that have bad rookie seasons, their confidence begins to dip down a little bit, which is completely natural, especially when you're a top 3 pick and you have all these expectations. And I think they should just let him start when he is ready as a quarterback, and maybe once Jacoby Brissett kind of falls back a little bit, because I do think naturally Drake May will be able to win this starting job at some point this season. When exactly, I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see how this team plays, but like I said, this offense isn't very good. So if Drake May could go out there and make this offense look good, I mean, obviously that would say a lot of things about him, because like I keep saying, this wide receiver room is not great in itself, but I think Jacoby Brissett gives you the best chance to go out there and be competitive in the start of these games, which at the end of the day is all that matters, especially if you're the Patriots. You're not going to go out there projecting to be the worst team in the league again. Last year, a top 3 pick, and you don't want to go back there and draft up there again. As we know, every team that drafts in the top 5, the top 10 every year, you don't want to be back in that spot. But the roster that the Patriots have right now, it seems like they're going to be back in that spot once again. But now you have one less thing to worry about with the quarterback position. You just don't want to make Drake May lose all his confidence in this first season, because he's not set up to succeed right now, and that's why I don't think he should start in week 1. I also don't think Joe Milton starting at quarterback is a real sensible thing right now. I know a lot of people are getting very excited about him, and maybe he'll come out here and perform, but you just drafted Drake May with the 3rd overall pick. You're not going to go out there and throw your 6th round quarterback, Joe Milton, and have him be the starting quarterback and just throw away your 3rd overall pick in this year's draft. Can Joe Milton be a good football player? I think so. Could he be a serviceable backup? I think so as well, depending on what we've seen. He has a fantastic arm, but the accuracy is either here or there. If you guys actually watched a lot of his games at Tennessee, as I'm sure Colin watching this video, who also makes videos on this channel, as you guys know, a big Tennessee fan, and if you guys watch those videos, he could tell you as a Tennessee and a Patriots fan, he probably could agree with me. He does not want to see Joe Milton be the starting quarterback, because he could give you a high upside, but that floor that Joe Milton has is very low in my opinion, and the ceiling isn't really that high. I think Drake May could be a good enough quarterback for them to continue to play throughout the next few years, but I don't think you want him to get blown up within the first few games and lose that confidence. So I think Jacoby Brissett is the guy to start off. I don't think there's very much controversy right now, and I think Drake May will be able to go out there and be the starter by the end of the season, but I think you just have to give him time and let him naturally progress. Let me know down below what you guys think. Who should be the starting quarterback to start this season off for the Patriots? And do you think Drake May should be the starter at the beginning of the season? And if not, when should he be the starter? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.